And you kind of explain these things to you. I remember I grew up with an old commercial. And it was talking about, it was like about cigarettes. And it was talking about how this little boy, cute little boy, 5, 6 years old, everything his daddy did. He saw his daddy wash the car, so he tried to wash the car. He saw his daddy do this, that, or another. He tried to do it then. And then he saw his father put a cigarette in his mouth. And what do you know? No, he's going to try to do that too. And so you do want to try to be the example, but even though you're trying to be example, there may be areas in which you don't have it together. And so you do what? You're not pointing them to you. You point them to who? The Heavenly Father. He loves you, and he can do more. Put your trust in him, and let him know, I'm growing to put my trust in him more and more each day. All right? Because you don't want them to just be discouraged. You don't want them to be discouraged in life, feel like they can't make it, just discouraged, okay? All right, let's go to Proverbs 15:4. And a lot of times people just put so much pressure on their children because they look at areas that they liked, they lacked, and they should have done this, and they should have done that, they should have done this, they should have done that. And so now they're like really harsh on their children, trying to make sure their children don't miss it. There'll be more that's done by prayer than browbeating anybody. And you can share your heart instead of just, you know, there's some things I wish I would have done when I was younger. I had opportunity to do when I was your age. Some things you need to stop making excuses and do now regardless of your age. You know, do now regardless of your age. Let them see you do that too. But what I'm saying is, let them know I'm really wanting you to have the best that God has for you. I'm really wanting you to really enjoy your life. I'm really wanting you to just be the best and have the best. And I know you can do that through Christ. And I want to aid in that. But I know there are some things and opportunities that I miss for certain reasons. I really would love to see you have those opportunities. But don't try to beat them into doing things and browbeat them into doing things just because you think that they should. You know, you can have a child that grows up to be a success because, one, he loves God, but he can be a success as a welder, as well as being successful as a doctor. And a lot of times we have these positionings where we want them to be this and we want them to be that. I was telling a couple of people, I probably said it from here before, but one of my daughters, she's a senior accountant, and she just loves numbers. If I had to be locked in an office all day dealing with numbers, I would jump out a window. I would literally jump out of a window. And what happens is, a lot of times the things that we want for our children, God has not even wired them for that. And so we have to make sure that sometimes we can have right intentions and right motives, but we can discourage them because sometimes we're trying to make them into things that God hasn't even wired them to do or be. Okay? So Proverbs 15:4, okay? It says, a wholesome tongue is a tree of life. You use your tongue to do what? Build up your children, not tear them down. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. So if we use our tongues, instead of it being a wholesome tongue, a tree of life, but if we use our tongue to be perverse, it does what? It breaks the spirit. Not only the person's spirit can, but it breaks the spirit of those that you're talking to. In example, we're talking about your children. Don't wound your children's spirit by being hard on them. Love them, pray for them, ask God to help you as a dad. You need some help. He's the master dad. He's the master, okay? He's the greatest dad ever. And look to him as your example of how to be a dad, okay?